Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Casper the Void Diviner, and I'm here to show you the Tarot of the Holy Spectrum. So this has really gone up in the ranks of my tarot decks that I use because I really enjoy the imagery and the colors in this deck. I have the first edition and the second edition has come out. I don't own the second edition, and in this process I'll be talking about the images between the first and the second and why I prefer the first edition and why I'm sticking with it. Without further ado, I'm going to open this up. This is a two-piece box. I think the second edition actually has an improvement. It's just one piece where you open up. I prefer that so much better because this can get lost, I guess. That's not a good reason, but I just don't like I have two pieces instead of just one. I even prefer a tuck box. I know some people prefer like a hard leather box like this, but if it's two pieces, I'd rather have a tuck box so I can just have one. But anyway, so this is the other side. A lot of scratches here because I'm actually using the deck. So if you can look at the backs, because they're all purely black, which I love. So one of the reasons why I really enjoy this deck is because of the symbolism. And having a black back, a pure black back, is beautiful because as Chase Voorhees, the creator, has said, it feels like you're reaching into the void for answers, and I really like that. But the bad thing about a black back is that scratches can happen. I can show you some of the scratches that have appeared on my cards, okay? But a used deck is always beautiful anyway. First, you get a title card that really talks about the deck. So this is for the first. He's married to Lindsay Mack, so a lot of the meanings here I think is really in tune with what she espouses. Some of it is not exactly RWS, it is her own reflections, and you can see that throughout this deck. In the second edition, he actually also continues to move forwards with his own view of what the deck should look like and what the cards should look like. So you can see here has a little marking. I'm not sure if it's that clear. You can see indentations, everything. But I like the cardstock regardless. The cardstock is thin and flexible. Because of shuffling and things like that, some of the black edging has already chipped off, but that's fine. I expect that when I'm using it. Okay, so this is the pure black card. I actually use this in the deck. So when this card comes out, I take it as you shouldn't be finding that answer out. That is not the right question to ask. That is how I approach this. So I'm going to place this aside and let's go through step by step. I really love the Fool here. I love the walking towards the abyss with that infinity sign, the lemniscate, right in front in rainbow colors. This I think calls back to the holographic infinity sign on the cover, so that's beautiful. The Magician, I really like this. The lemniscate actually taking control in a way of their arms, and each one to one of the suits of the tarot. So one thing about this deck, there is no like guidance, there is no like guidebook as far as I can tell. I feel like the images are so stark and so clear. Like this is so beautiful, right? So white, and you can see that the impact of the pomegranate. Yeah, beautiful card. I think this black thing is somehow mine. I'm really not sure, but anyway, beautiful. I love the font as well. Very good font. The Empress. I'll stop and tell you when there is a difference between this edition and the second edition, okay? And I won't be mentioning those color changes and things like that because I don't think that is that much to mention, but there are some color changes that he has made from this and the second edition. Look at the Emperor. The Emperor has long hair. It looks a bit of like a feminine figure, so I'm not sure, but I love how, gender is not a physical gender doesn't represent the archetype, and this is a very emperor kind of archetype, sitting on the throne above everything. You can see like these are clouds under her or him, and you can see the little ram here. So still the Aries here, but the size difference. They are sitting on the top of the mountain. This size is so huge. The Hierophant, really love this. Really love this. You can see the spirits actually whispering directly to the Hierophant's ears. The Lovers, I love how this espouses self-love, self-reflection. It also makes you think about choices when you are actually looking to a mirror, questioning yourself, making that choice. Love that. The Chariot is not something I super jive with, and the Chariot is one of my birth cards. I do love the idea of driving in an endless road, a highway. I'm just not sure what this figure is meant to represent. I guess it's because you know, when you watch horror shows, a ghost suddenly appears in the middle of the road. This is what it's telling me, but I don't think that is what he intended. This is how I feel when I see this. Strength, beautiful. The Hermit. I rarely get this card from this deck for some reason. The Wheel of Fortune, and then the four elements. Justice, I love this. I love that underneath that cape is a sword. There's nothing else. A sword and the scales. So very typical of Justice. And then this one, the Hanged one. This is different in the second edition. The second edition is the tethered one, and I will show a picture of it if I can find one here. But it's different, and I kind of prefer the traditional hanged one. A part of me wishes this was upside down, so it's more traditional. But the tethered one, I don't know if that's how I see the hanged one. There is a sense of sacrifice that is lost when in the second edition because of the tethered nature. I do understand that a rope holding you down, holding you down. I don't know, anchoring you. I can see that. I can see that in the tethered one, but I don't know if I can read it as clearly as this one. Okay, but to be honest, I don't even really enjoy this imagery. I just prefer this one to the other one, even though the other one is definitely more creative. If you appreciate the second edition one, I think you should go get it. I really recommend it. I was so tempted to get the second edition, but I stopped myself because I had to look at each card one by one and really ask myself, what do I really prefer? Death, beautiful. I love the coloration. I love the intricate flowers around the skeleton. Temperance. I also prefer the first edition compared to the second edition. The second edition has two hands. I'll show it here. Two hands touching each other, belly touching. So it has the same feeling as the tethered one, you know, getting to know your spirit, getting to know yourself, getting to know your higher self and your lower self. But I really love the exchange of drinking here, you know, the exchange of, and the transmutation, that transformation that is missing in the two hands touching. Even though the two hands touching is definitely more poetic, I prefer this. I prefer the exchange. I prefer the alchemy, you know, that is missing in the hands. The Devil, I also prefer this version compared to the second edition. I feel like in the second edition, a lot of not a lot lah, maybe, but just this one and maybe the Five of Swords, that one also changed. I feel like they rely more on the words around them. I feel like this devil is kind of suggestive, you know. He's wearing glasses, so you can't see his eyes, sunglasses. You see the hand outstretched, but you can't see the other hand. What is he holding? A knife? What? This feels like remotely threatening. Whereas the second edition is too much. It's too in your face. It's like writing all these insecurities that most people have, but not everyone has. So if you don't, I don't know, you know. And some of it doesn't jive with me. It's too explicit. I prefer something more implicit like this one. So the first edition works better for me in the Devil's case. The Tower, I love how she's glowing as she falls, you know. The Star, I love this one. This is one of the reasons why I got this deck, the Star. And I don't think I ever drew it when I'm using this deck, sadly. The Moon. Another beautiful card. The Sun. Not one of my favorite cards. I prefer the Star and the Moon, if you talk about the differences. But it's okay. It's okay. Awakening. Anyway, this is beautiful. I love Awakening instead of Judgment because Judgment has that sense of reaching the end, nearing the end of things, learning a huge lesson, a painful lesson. Awakening is more about realization. I love the sleeping people around her. This is very Matrix, very sci-fi. The World. This is different, you know. I like the new version more. I like Edition 2's World much better. There's that cliff again. She's standing on the cliff, you know. She has her hands thrown out, and it really calls back to that first card, you know. This one does call back to the first card, but not as much as the second edition, so I prefer the second edition. That is one of them that I prefer. Okay, we'll go through the wands. Beautiful Ace. I really like this too because in the traditional Three of Wands, you can see him standing there looking at his boat. So this is like one of the people just taking off, going off the shore. Three of Wands. I love that she's a silhouette in the sun. Four of Wands. I don't really enjoy this Four of Wands. I feel like the Four of Wands should be more of a celebration, and I'm not sure what this is meant to express. Like a whole day spending at home doing writing and then running off. I don't really get that celebratory feeling from this card. I'm not sure if he wrote about this card in particular, but I would love to know his thoughts. Five of Wands. This is okay. Six of Wands. I love this one, and I think he talks about this in the podcast he did with his wife. About how, you know, victory is not really victory. When he sees the RWS, he sees that person coming home from a war, and that is so true. You know, going home is always a victory. When I work and I feel stressed, and when I reach home, it's such a relief. It's such a small win, you know, that you are able to return. That's the sense that I have, especially when I was doing my army stint. You know, having to stay out, going to Taiwan for like 20 days or something, and then coming back. That kind of relief. That comes with home. I see that in the Six of Wands too. The Seven of Wands. So I love that this is not only someone actually trying to hurt people that try to climb up. This is you basically fighting people off, but you're actually kind of hurting them as well by taking away the last way to grab that the last, how do you say that, the last rung in the ladder. But it's a bit funny because in this picture, the person climbing up can simply just grab the edge, so I don't know, but maybe you're trying to poke his hand, so I like that one. Eight of Wands. I always appreciate traditional imagery, so this is a win. Nine of Wands. See, this is another one that makes me think about the Nine of Swords instead. I like this card because it calls to that Nine of Swords anguish, and yet the anguish has kind of faded, and you're just sleeping on like a bit of nails. I feel like this is a good imagery for that. Basically, in the Nine of Wands, someone is hurt, they are bandaged up, they are defensive, they're waiting to fight to see the dawn. Here, this person is already resting, so I don't really see that kind of a defensive nature. But I do see that, you know, that bit of nails kind of, they're ready to fight any time to get up. So I don't know how I feel. I like this imagery, I like the imagery. I just don't know if I can read it well yet, because I have not received this card, even though I used this deck so many times. I like this one. I like the Ten of Wands. Very simple. I'm not a huge fan of the mono-colored cards in this deck. Maybe just because I don't like this shade of green. But yeah, the Page of Wands, the Knight of Wands, the Queen of Wands, which is usually one of my favorite cards in the deck, but not for this one. And then the King of Wands. I like how he's pointing. Okay, let's go to the Ace. You see, the minors are so beautiful. There's so much vibrant colors. Oh wait guys, I'm so sorry I forgot to talk about this one. Anyway, I prefer the new Five of Wands. That's what I wanted to say. The new Five of Wands is much better than this one. I really have nothing to say about this card. It's very simple. Whereas I feel like that the next Five of Wands, then in the second edition, has the sense of alchemy that I'm missing from the second edition's Temperance, you know, and the kind of conflict that can create sparks and new products, new things, you know. Okay, back to the swords. Ace of Swords, beautiful. Two of Swords, standard, but I like it. Three of Swords, I like this. I like how this cartoony lightning bolts, and then there's one hand here. I don't know if this hand has let this person go or is trying to catch this person, you know, that kind of confusion, being backstabbed. Are they a friend or a foe? Four of Swords, it's a bit morbid, but I like this imagery of resting, you know, resting. Five of Swords, I think this one has changed. In the second edition, it's again very explicit. There is like text writing about, I don't know, like solutions and questions or something. I'm going to place it up here so you can see it. I prefer this one, even though this is very traditional. At least it's not so explicit, you know, so in your face. I don't like this change, and I don't like the Devil because of those reasons. Six of Swords, I enjoy this. I really enjoy this. So instead of them going away, they're coming towards you. I like that. The Seven of Swords, I really like this imagery. Shrouded in shadow, grasping at the swords, but almost hurt. The Eight of Swords, traditional. I love this imagery actually. I love it so much. Nine of Swords, I like this also because it really represents the anguish, the pose, the kneeling down. And then the Ten of Swords. I love this imagery. Beautiful. Morbid, a bit stark, but I really like this. And then we go to the monochromatic swords again, chords again. Page of Swords. I don't really have much to say about this card. Beautiful. I love the Knight of Swords. Out of all the chord cards, I love this. I love the Queen of Swords. There's a scary nature to her, you know. She is scary. She's meant to be scary. That sword blocking her face, her stringy hair. I love that. And the King of Swords. You can see that the tendency to write things out, which I'm okay with. This is not too much compared to like the Devil. I think that one in the second edition is too much for me, but I like this one. I love the speakers behind him because he's blasting out the truth. He's gonna make sure you hear it through that mic. Beautiful. Ace of Cups. I love the aces in this deck. Lemon skirt again. The Two of Cups. Love again, that kind of self-love in the lovers coming back here. And then the Three of Cups. Enjoyment, friendship. Four of Cups. I don't enjoy this as much as some of the other cards. I really like the deck, but this one, there's something about him saying no, whereas in the RWS he's not noticing that opportunity. There's a slight nuance that I like in the other one, but you're so focused on yourself because you're meditating, right? And then you forget, you don't see what's coming up ahead. The Five of Cups. I love this imagery. Beautiful, beautiful. This gown. I love drama. This is so dramatic. Six of Cups. This is a bit sinister for me. I don't know why. Every time I see a picture, but I like this because this is kind of more nostalgic than the RWS Six of Cups. There is a sense that they are holding on to their own childhood picture, you know, and looking back. Seven of Cups. Messy brain. Too many choices. Too many illusions. Eight of Cups. Always one of my favorite cards in the deck. I think he changed the colors to be even more beautiful in the second edition. Nine of Cups. I love this imagery. I really love this imagery. Because the Nine of Cups is traditionally that wish card, you know, the card where you wish for something. Ten of Cups. One of my favorite cups. One of my favorite cards in this deck. You see that campfire, the Ten of Cups in the sky. So beautiful. So beautiful. And then the monochromatic chords again. Page of Cups. Traditional cup and fish. I like that. Knight of Cups. I love this. They're in the water. I love that. This is okay for me. The Queen of Cups. And the King of Cups is a bit sinister again because this person is like kneeling down asking for a drink. I don't know how I feel about this one. Is there some sort of emotional manipulation here? I feel like there is some the kind of underlying feeling from that card. Ace of Pentacles. Beautiful. Two of Pentacles. This is another one I don't really get. Of course, it doesn't feel like she's juggling much. Maybe I feel like this card is more about distraction. There are writing, there is games, there is a typewriter here, I think. Three of Pentacles. I like this because there is a progress. There's progress in teamwork. Four of Pentacles. I really like this as well. But this really calls back to the Four of Swords. So I don't know if there are any tie-ins from the other cards. Like I mentioned, I think the Nine of Wands makes me think of the Nine of Swords actually. The Five of Pentacles. Beautiful. This is one of the cards that I don't know whether I liked or not, and then I'm growing to like it more. It's a bit comic-y, you know, like there's a story here, but instead maybe we don't like this. Is a bit explicit. Maybe we don't need the, you know, the thought bubble. Maybe this is all we need. Everyone looking here, still digging, and none of them noticing that they actually took out what they already had. And this one, Six of Pentacles. Beautiful. You know, giving, exchange. Seven of Pentacles. Really like this card. The cherry blossom, the sky, the start blue and pink, and then watching them grow. The Eight of Pentacles. I think he changed the color here also. I prefer the new version, but you can see that kind of growth again. Very similar to the Three of Pentacles. And then okay, I love the second edition's Nine of Pentacles so much more. That voluptuousness of her opening her mouth to grapes that have those pentacles. That is so beautiful compared to this. This is a beautiful card too, but I prefer the other one because there's that kind of taste. It's so visceral, that kind of close-up, intimate feeling of the other card, you know. And then the Ten of Cups, I really like this. This makes me think of the Viking, you know, in you go to the halls, I forgot what is it, but after you pass away, you go to heaven and you fight again, and you have this huge feast every night. That's how Vikings are, right? I hope I'm not misappropriating anything, but that's why I love this card. The irony is, oh sorry, the Ten of Pentacles. There's Ten of Cups. I hope not, because I'm looking at cups here, but it's Ten of Pentacles. I love this one. I love the Pentacle as a chandelier. And then the monochromatic court cards again, Page of Pentacles. I don't really have much to say in most of the court cards, but I do like this Knight of Pentacles. There's a wild nature to him, and he's sitting on like a deer. I love that. I love that. The Queen of Pentacles, very Disney with the little animals, and the King of Pentacles. I love the stag above him. Love that he's like taken over by nature. A bit sinister as well, but I feel like all the court cards here are a bit sinister. Okay, I hope you enjoyed my little walkthrough of the first edition of the Tarot of the Holy Spectrum. There are many offs, but yeah, I hope you enjoyed this and understood why I prefer this deck over the second edition, even though the second edition really has, I feel like, three standout cards for me that have changed. The Nine of Pentacles, the World card, and the Five of Wands. Those three cards are amazing, but I didn't like any of the other changes. So it was like I think it was like a 4 or 5 card change that I didn't like, and 3 that I really liked. So I decided I shall just stick with this first edition and not, you know, spend too much money since I already have it. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope this was helpful, and you guys have a great rest of the day. You take care. Bye.